Every day, something dramatic happens in the Caribbean that affects our lives. We'll give you the details. We'll give you the facts on Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick. Here's Eddie Frederick.
So glad you can join us. Mudflow possible as rainy season approaches in St. Vincent, scientist warns. This story takes the lead in our 1097th edition of Caribbean Perspective for Friday 23rd April 2021. Details after this break.
Did you know that your friends and family can now shop at the Food Fair from anywhere in the world and you can receive here in Grenada? The Food Fair and GrenadaMarket.com now make it possible through secure online shopping and personalized customer service. Simply send your loved ones a list of your preferred items or let them fill an online basket and the items will be available for pickup or delivery. Visit GrenadaMarket.com or thefoodfair.gd today for more details. The new norm. Spread the news.
Welcome back. Volcanologist Professor Richard Robertson is predicting another natural hazard for the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines already dealing with the effect of an erupting Soufriere Volcano. He believes that as the rainy season approaches, the island could face another potentially more destructive natural hazard resulting from the volcano that has been erupting since April 9th and has spewed millions of cubic feet of volcanic material into the atmosphere. Much of the ash has fallen across St. Vincent, especially communities in the north closest to the volcano. Speaking during his daily update on the state-owned NBC radio on Tuesday, Robertson said that one of the most significant observations over the review period was a mudflow around 4 a.m. local time. It was recorded at the station in Bamboo Range, which suggests to us that a mudflow came down one of the rivers on the southeast. I suspect it might be Rebecca, and that's why we picked up the signal, Robertson said. A mudflow is a violent type of debris movement composed of a slurry of pyroclastic material, rocky debris and water. The material flows down from a volcano, typically along a river valley, and is extremely destructive, flowing tens of meters per second and tend to destroy any structures in their path. Robertson said that there is a lot of deposit at the summit of the volcano, and as the rainy season approaches, these mudflows tend to become more pronounced. In related news, thousands who were forced to evacuate the red zone spanning from Georgetown to Fancy on the northeastern part of the island of St. Vincent were faced with two options, comfort and safety. The majority chose the latter. But in doing so, they placed their lives into the hands of the state. TV6's reporter Alicia Boucher caught up with a family staying at the shelter and brings us this report.
From the clothes alone hanging outside of the Kingstown Preparatory School, it would tell you that something different from what you'd normally see is amiss. This is just one of the many schools on the island that was turned into a shelter for evacuees of the Soufriere eruptions. We visited one such shelter earlier, and this is what we found. Seemingly lost in a daze, this man is among 33 evacuees at the Diamond Village Government School. Of that amount, 17 of them are children under the age of 17. For many who were born post-1979, this is an experience that is very unfamiliar and one that is highly uncomfortable. But for Shima Anderson, a mother of 3 whose children are ages 10, 8, and 1 year, that is worth the trade-off when it comes to safety.
It's not easy because, when you're done custom to home, but at the end of it, your safety comes first. So we're just here and just hoping for the best and waiting until they say that we can go home. Trying to make everything okay. It's not like home, but we got to make it like it's our home because our safety comes first.
This is where she sleeps with her family, in a classroom with 2 mattresses. One of them is an inflatable that is malfunctioning. She wasn't among those who had to be compelled by the authorities to leave her home in the red zone.
Well, from the Monday when we were having the tremors, my children were very frightened. We left Thursday afternoon, even before they said that they gave us the okay to left. When they were saying it was in orange sale, we left because we had a feeling that something was up and we left before, so we left early.
Clothing and pampers to last for 3 or 4 days were among the items she grabbed in her haste to evacuate, but those supplies are long gone. Simeon Green oversees this shelter. What has it been like running the shelter, in terms of getting resources, getting water, getting food?
Very challenging. Very challenging. We were not quite ready for this, but the community did come up, and the deputy shelter manager, he did well. He had good water stored, so we were able to get a water supply from him in a very early stage. But the school was without water. But we made it. It was very, very challenging.
Pipe-borne water has now been restored to about 80% of the island, alleviating that problem. Persons have volunteered from the community to prepare the meals. Food supplies, they say, are mainly coming through private donations. However, there is a need for more food and mattresses. Green hopes that help would be focused here, now that water is no longer as scarce as gold. We know that we're in the middle of a pandemic and one that where social distancing is necessary. What are the social distancing accommodations and sleeping arrangements looking like?
Well, we are lucky. All members are mainly 6 families, and they are sheltered in each separate classroom.
Right. Green says the wearing of face masks is promoted and a nurse comes in to assist with temperature checks and related matters. The Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Dr. Ralph Gonsalves, has clarified that vaccination is not mandatory for stay in a government shelter. However, he is encouraging persons to be screened using the PCR or antigen tests. Reporting from St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Alicia Boucher, TV6 News.
The court matter surrounding the appointment of the PPP parliamentary secretaries Sarah Brown and Vikash Ramkissoon concluded on Tuesday in Guyana, with Chief Justice Roxanne George concluding that the appointments are unlawful. Wendell Badri of HGP Nightly News reports.
While the attorneys in the matter, APNU AFC's Royce Ford and Attorney General Anil Nandlal made their final submissions in writing to the court on Monday, Chief Justice Madam Roxanne George on Tuesday afternoon ruled that the appointment of the 2 parliamentary secretaries are unlawful. Leading up to her decision, Madam George submitted that the case before her is strikingly similar to that of Desmond Morayan versus Keith Scott and Winston Felix et al. In 2016, where the former Chief Justice, the late Ian Chang, ruled that the appointment of the 2 technocrat ministers were unlawful. Justice George further explained that she is bound by the decision of the Court of the Appeal in that matter, given that it is a higher court, and to fail to do so would be equivalent to anarchy. The Chief Justice further outlined that the process of appointing technocrat members as well as ministers to the National Assembly is very much similar to the appointment of parliamentary secretaries. George posited that the 2 members formed part of the list of candidates of the PPPC, which contested the 2020 general and regional elections, and therefore they are deemed to be elected members of the National Assembly since their list emerged victorious at the polls. As such, the Chief Justice determined that their appointment as parliamentary secretaries on the basis of being non-elected members is unlawful, since they cannot be both elected and non-elected members simultaneously. On Monday, Attorney General Anil Nandlal proffered that the High Court should not follow the decision of Justice Chang and Morayan, given that the ruling then was wrong. In his counter-submission, APNU AFC attorney Royce Ford said that the court is bound to follow the decision of the former Chief Justice based on the hierarchical system of the country's courts. APNU AFC Chief Whip Christopher Jones had moved to the High Court in December 2020 to have Brown and Ramkissoon removed as parliamentary secretaries on the grounds that their appointments are unconstitutional and on the basis that they are unlawful members of the National Assembly of the 12th Parliament of Ghana. Jones reasoned that the 2 parliamentary secretaries could not have been constitutionally and lawfully appointed, having not formed part of the 33 members elected to serve on behalf of the PPPC in the National Assembly. Meanwhile, the Attorney General has filed an appeal in relation to the matter. Wendell Badri, HGP Nightly News.
You're listening to Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick.
Guy Joseph of St. Lucia's governing United Workers' Party UWP predicts resounding victory for his party. Joachim Duplessis of HTS News Force reports.
The feisty politician, known for issuing countless challenges and his trademark wry smile, has expressed confidence of victory at the polls this year. During an appearance on his own UWP media show Inside Castries Southeast, the Economic Development Minister Guy Joseph fancies his chances at retaining the coveted seat with promises of transforming Cul-de-sac into a boom town. The third-term parliamentarian is so sure of victory that he is eyeing votes from the opposition St. Lucia Labour Party.
For me, what I have found out over the last few weeks is that this time around, I am going to get much more support from people who used to support the Labour Party.
I believe that.
And I'm not saying this out of to make the Labour Party look bad or anything. I go throughout the community, and key supporters of the Labour Party have come in and said to me, look here, this time around we are going to support you. And they didn't say they're going to support me because they want a favor or they want a benefit. They are just happy with the work that we have done in the constituency.
Yes.
Even neighboring Castries South is up for grabs, a subtle dig at the incumbent Ernest Hilaire.
I want to make a prediction on your program tonight. The first Labour Party seat we are going to win this time around is Castries South.
Okay. You and I on the same path, my friends.
I am telling you, as a boundary constituency, the number of people who have come to me and said that, look here, this time, Castries South is coming home.
That is for sure.
To the United Workers'
That is
Party.
for sure.
And from all indications, there are surprises in politics. The surprise would be if we don't win that seat.
I believe
the surprise is not if we win it. The surprise is if we don't win
I agree.
it. And I said it on your program. And I said it in, I'm not sure if it's on your program. I said it in Parliament. I believe, I am 100% convinced that 5 of the Labour Party seats are in contention to be won by the United Workers' Party. But from what I see, 3 of them,
it's for sure.
I would say, is 80% leaning towards the United Workers' Party.
So what's the trump card? Well, Joseph, who was joined by Prime Minister Alan Chasney, is taking big plans for Castries Southeast, all based on brick and mortar projects. It's in keeping with the policy agenda of the Alan Chasney administration, which focuses on pro-growth measures. That is the exploitation of land for development, construction roads and bridges, which the government believes has been beneficial during the pandemic-induced recession.
Hubbard's big promotion is back. Live free for 1 year. Spend $50 or more in any Hubbard's department and receive a chance to win big prizes every month. Property or vehicle insurance for 1 year. Free internet, cable and data for 1 year. Free fuel for 1 year. Free cooking gas for 1 year. Free electricity for 1 year. Free drinks for 1 year. Extra cash account and the big free groceries for 1 year. Promotion runs from April 1st to September 30th, 2021. Live free for 1 year with Hubbard's in association with Solgas, Flow, Grenadian General Insurance, Carib Brewery, Coca-Cola, Grenada Bottling Company, Grenlec, Communal Cooperative Credit Union, Dutch Lady Milk, Promo, Danny and Supreme. Terms and conditions apply.
I am Eddie Frederick, wishing you a restful weekend. This has been Caribbean Perspective, a whole new approach to highlighting developments in the Caribbean. In the meantime, please continue to log on to CaribbeanPerspective.com for more daily news and more.